Come on.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the only podcast produced by three winners of IMSA's Spirit of the Race Award. You are tuned in to the Check Engine podcast. As always, we're streaming through Anchor.fm or, anywhere else that streams good content. My name is Nick. Flanking me on either side, as per usual, Tristan and Andrew. We're starting our second round of 50. We made it past.
Yeah.
And now we're into the next leg of this journey. What's going on, fellas? What's up?
Man, it's been a super long week for me. It's just like up and down, and I am so exhausted. I'm so ready to get you guys out of my house so I can go to bed.
Get out of my house.
Get out of here. For the love of God, get out. Tristan, are you ready to leave Andrew's house?
Anytime.
That's funny.
No, today I'm experimenting with with audio-visual things. Don't do that.
Oh, sorry. Was I breaking the fourth wall?
It's right there. We know the camera's right there, but don't be weird about it.
Was it the lean around?
It was the finger wiggle, I think.
As the legend John Hindhoff says, coming to you live in sound and vision.
Exactly.
We're trying that for the first time today.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty good.
it's pretty good. But unlike John Hindhoff, we are not pros.
No.
We're not even close. We're just posing as them, as pros. But you guys are listening anyway, and potentially watching. So that's awesome.
I came up with the worst pun.
What is it? Go.
What?
Go.
Would you call us prosers?
No.
All right, moving on.
I wouldn't
I
call
would,
us
but
that.
that's what we are. So it's too accurate, too real.
Oh man. Yeah, we're prosers,
Yes.
but you're all listening anyway, and possibly watching later. So we thank you for that. But we don't want you just to listen or just to watch. We want you to interact with us. We have a website. It's checkenginepodcast.com. On there, we have an email address. It is inbox@checkenginepodcast.com. Reach out. Let us know what you like, what you don't. Give us some feedback on episode ideas, all of those different things. Engage with us. This is supposed to be a platform for the car community, for all of car culture. So let's try to drum something up a little bit, all right? What is the topic of discussion this evening?
Well, this past week, we've done 50 episodes. So now we've explored all the content there is to explore.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
The announcement is we're done.
No, so I was trolling
50 and out.
I was trolling YouTube for the best content on the internet. And what I found is the worst content on the internet, something called tier lists. Now, something that comes from fighting games where you get like Mortal Kombat, and they're basically a ranked list of things, in this case cars, as they relate specifically to each other, from S being the best tier to F being the worst tier. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at some supercars and some hypercars and rank them in a tier list, but we're going to fight about what goes where. And I'm really excited for that part.
Yeah, this is gonna be a shit show.
I mean, it could be. It could be.
I'm pretty sure this is gonna be.
There
a
are
shit
some
show.
fan loyalties in the crosshairs here. There's
yeah, I guess.
a little bit.
A little bit.
I mean, let's see what happens. A tier list of supercars and hypercars.
Why would S be the top? Why wouldn't it be A?
Because S is better than A.
Says who?
Lists. Okay, let me put it this way. If you were to make a tier list of letters, S would be S, A would be A, and B would be B. C would probably be B, but we don't need to get into that now.
You've also played racing games and Forza and stuff.
Hey, yeah, the S license.
Yeah, the super
Stands
license.
for super better than A.
Super better.
Whatever. Anyway,
Whatever.
I guess I'm not going to get it, so we'll just move on with pace laps.
I got a pace lap for the ages.
I wish we could just straight rip off the Grand Tour and Top Gear. Tonight, Nick's confused.
I mean, maybe when our production value goes up more. All right, listen to this, you guys. We all know that competition, especially in like the sedan part of the market, is incredibly intense right now. And companies are trying everything they can to just get just a little bit more of that market. Now, there's a company called Infinity.
Who?
Yep, that one. And I mean, they're struggling.
Yeah, I've got year-over-year sales right here.
Oh my God, what are the year sales? Please tell me. I want to know.
So first 4 months of 2019 down 14.1% over last year.
Oofta.
Just April on its own, April 2019 down 5% on April 2018.
All right. Well, let me tell you about the technology that's going to reverse this trend and put Infinity on top.
Cup holders.
No. Let me read this tweet to you.
Damn.
At Infinity USA. Imagine you've got a beautiful wheat-colored leather interior.
Okay.
There's
I'm
no
there.
There's no way you'd want your
He can't do it.
There's
You
no
can't
way.
make it.
I can't take this seriously. There's no way you'd want your nice jeans leaving blue stains behind. With that in mind, Infinity's engineers cracked open their chemistry books and found a solution. So there's several more tweets in this line, about 6 all in all. What they've done is solved a problem that
Nobody has.
that no one throbbingly has. They've developed a coating for their seats specifically designed to prevent dye transfer from only one product. Raw denim. Raw denim.
Raw denim, yeah.
What the fuck? Is that really the best Infinity's got? That's it? That's the pinnacle. That's it. 14% down year over year.
Is that better or worse than Lincoln with the custom door chime?
The custom door chime looks fabulous in light of this news.
Yeah, we made fun of that before, but I have to reevaluate.
Yeah, no, that looks like a really smart idea now.
Because at least that's customization, which people like.
Yes. Okay. First of all, is raw denim like this raw water thing and raw milk? Like it'll just kill you if you put it on your body?
No,
it just looks bad.
Well, it's an aesthetic. So obviously there are people who will like it and people who don't. But
What is the point of it?
it does give like that super clean dark indigo look, where you've got jeans that are like super dark with the like I'm not a textilist, but when you flip jeans inside out,
You were lecturing us on thread count earlier.
That's a really good point.
but that's a sheet person. The like when you flip over,
There you go, splitting
jeans,
hairs again.
Like fancy ones have like the inside is way lighter than the outside.
Right.
That's closer to raw denim. They try to do that on purpose, and the whole point. There's a bunch of weird stuff with it. I got lectured on this by one of my former coworkers.
Oh,
It's like
God.
it doesn't get washed, like ever. You just hang it up and let it air out until whatever funk is on them goes away.
All right, no, I got you.
Like,
This is pointless. It's pointless.
but it's a fashion thing.
No.
Which most of it's pointless, in my opinion.
So, yeah, it's pointless, and
A lot of
Infinity's...
it. Now, the thing is, I think why a Japanese car company is worried about it
Well,
is because
they're kind of technically an American company.
yeah,
They don't. But do they even sell Infinity in Japan?
But why their parent company would even be working on something like this is Japan is where a lot of raw denim comes from. So
With the YKK zippers.
the actual cloth.
Yes, I know, but YKK is a company based in Japan that makes zippers. Anyways,
I think they make all the zippers.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a non-YKK zipper.
Anyways, here's the problem. Infinity has no idea what they're doing, and they're falling further down the rabbit hole of desperation. This is all because they canceled that Eau Rouge or Rouge.
Oh, Rouge.
Eau Rouge. What was it at the time? The Q50? Whatever
I don't
it was.
know.
They had that super
Q
cool-
with a number. Who cares?
Yeah, Q something. Their naming seems stupid too. Anyways, all right. I thought that was ridiculous. I think that whole series of tweets is
I wonder how
crazy.
much money they spent on that.
I just think they called DuPont. They're like,
You got something for this?
and then they just called it their own.
But I'm wondering, like, there's no way to trace it or track like exactly the reason why somebody buys. Like, even if you have surveys go out, like who's going to be like complete, like someone actually goes and buys an Infinity now, and they come back with like follow up survey via email or whatever it is. Why did you buy this? Like, how many people are actually going to put like as number one like the denim guard?
Well, wait. I think you're actually thinking of it backwards. What they want is people to shop for Infinities specifically because they wear raw denim.
Maybe they've got some market research.
Got to get that
So
raw denim.
all of the ranchers out there.
Oh, no. It's not ranchers.
No.
They buy Wranglers.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, here's something that I was thinking about. There actually could be somewhat of a, semi-serious implication for Infinity dealers because, of course, what's the number one thing that dealers make you do when you really go into a dealership and you give it to them over the price of a car? What's the number one thing they will ask you to do to agree on a deal? They'll ask you to buy the auto armor or the whatever their local thing is. And one of the first things they do is like spray, whatever it is in the interior. It's all Scotch Guard. Let's be clear here. They're just Scotch guarding the inside of your car, and that's what this is too. But are they actually undercutting the Infinity dealers themselves by doing this in a small way?
giving the dealership one less leverage point.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They're taking as small an amount as it may be. They actually are going to inadvertently take away some money from their dealerships. It's probably not going to matter at 14% reduction year over year, but
I was going to say, if you're an Infinity dealer, you're not too worried about that right now.
probably not. Anyways.
It's the empty showrooms, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely that.
So, interesting. Good try, Infinity.
Nope, not a good try. I'm discouraging you from this behavior.
I've got a couple. I've got a interesting car news. Tristan, you got anything before I dive into
No, go ahead.
a couple of these? So today, leaving work, I saw a Chrysler Crossfire. Mm-hmm. Not interesting on its own.
Well,
Little two-seat roadster, gunmetal gray. Mm-hmm. And this guy tricked the shit out of it with old gold accents.
what?
Imagine Colorado University, like the Buffaloes, or Purdue, like that old gold color.
Sure.
Not Notre Dame where it's shiny, but just kind of like the.
Yellow.
And it's gold. It's not like Green Bay Packers yellow.
Right.
Which is then ironically called green
Gold.
and gold.
Let's not get into that discussion. That's not where I'm going with this. But the old gold fender stripes. We were just talking about fender stripes
Damn
recently.
fender stripes.
Goddamn fender stripes.
Oh, I saw him
wheels.
on something else we didn't talk about. A different FCA car.
I saw it on wheels. Like actually painted on rims.
Yep, the two stripes on one spoke.
That's interesting. We saw that there was one race car in the Super Trofeo last year that had that. Anyways.
Yep. So gold fender stripes, old gold rims, and an old gold rear wing.
Yo, plastic dip call.
Whoa.
Yeah. Plastic. Definitely. So,
I was driving and my phone was and I was turning and there's a lot of stuff.
as you know, you would never take a picture while driving.
Right,
But
exactly.
You should.
I wasn't stopped. I was actually rolling when I saw it.
Okay. Okay. I might jump in instead of your second one.
Okay, I can save a couple of these for next week. It's okay.
Because of the you never take pictures while driving.
Obviously, it's illegal.
Yeah, totally.
You couldn't ever because it's
No,
illegal.
I would never.
Yeah.
But we'll post something that was acquired by my passenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impossible to take photos while
Yeah,
driving. You can't do it.
I saw a license plate. Wisconsin has firefighter specific license plates. And I saw it, and it had on it Beto.
Like the
Minions,
onomatopoeia for,
the Minions firefighter. Beto.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, so I have two major problems with this. One, y'all have seen way too many Minions movies.
Oh, I've just been on the internet. Welcome.
We have very different Facebook friends groups.
We have
is
very
what we're
different
learning now.
internet histories, I guess.
Also that, but I never would have understood that.
That's fine.
Yeah,
A lot of people do.
you made my life worse
You're welcome.
by explaining this to me.
No, I showed that to probably 4 or 5 people at work, and with the context of the fireman plate, they were like, "Oh God, Minions,"
I just assumed it's supposed to be an onomatopoeia for siren noises.
For a siren.
which is what
yes.
it is.
Yeah.
But it's attached to Minions.
Was there also a
Beto.
Minion sticker on it?
No, but Beto is, that's it.
Okay.
Twice.
It's gross. It's gross that you would talk about Minions on this podcast.
You're welcome.
Tristan from downtown coming from out of nowhere. Awesome. So let's jump into. We're gonna need some time for this list. So let's dive right into this.
I think we probably are.
This is one list that the three of us are going to create. Mm-hmm. And how do we want to get this kick started?
Man, this is gonna be tough. So basically, this list here, I wanted a decent mix of cars, like enough where we could create a good episode out of it. But the problem that I had was price, because just saying something like supercars doesn't give anyone anything.
No.
Just saying something like hypercars doesn't give anyone anything. So what I said was 200,000 and up. And what I have here is a list of some cars that are that. And I think that maybe, just maybe, what?
Just
The blinds.
All of the noises at once?
Yeah, just a look of panic.
Maybe we should start with something that seems almost like, in this context, a market average. What about the Lamborghini Huracan? From S to F, where does the Huracan rank?
Well, I mean, if it's
good looking, I would
Yes,
say.
I agree.
yeah,
It's quick. It sounds good.
Especially,
sounds really good. Top speed 202.
I don't know about
Second-
raw performance.
Second or third slowest on this list.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that's
I think
tough.
I feel like we
It-
all like it at least.
I would probably slot it in as like a B for now.
I think a B.
yeah, I think these will slide as we discuss things.
It may.
Be like, okay, so we got this one. Is that better or worse?
Well, and it
Well,
also,
right. This is the first one
Yeah,
that we got
yeah.
to throw somewhere.
right. It also does have the whole race series and stuff. Like it's
Yep.
an impressive car.
Yeah, it has a whole dedicated spec series.
And they start on fire when they crash in that series, which is
And
definitely
apparently they
cool.
have trouble keeping wheels on.
And that was just
Or was that was just one team?
yeah. What
Yeah.
team was that? Those poor guys.
The Prestige team.
Yeah, Prestige at
Ironically.
Mid Ohio,
Ironically, the Prestige team.
Shedding, shedding wheels.
all over the track.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel good with B.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
I mean, market average would be C, but we all kind of view this car favorably.
Definitely.
So
Yes.
we'll slot it up for now.
All right. So what about across the aisle at Ferrari, the 488 GTB?
Well, let's see here. For about $50,000 more dollars, you get about 80 more horsepower. You get way more torques, better gas mileage, and a higher
I'm
top
sorry,
speed.
did he mention gas mileage?
I
Their
did.
gas mileage.
And a higher top speed.
Well, all of that, yes. You also get a fantastic looking car.
Yes.
Oh my God, the 488 is just, it's an A for me. The only reason it's not S is I really only have in this list, I have one car that I would rank as an S, and the 488 does not remotely touch it in terms of performance.
Yeah,
I like the 488 better than the Huracan.
Yeah, I feel like A is good. What do you think, Tristan?
Yeah, I think that's fair. For me, it's not as much the looks. I think it is just all in all a better car. I wonder how much the race series plays into it.
Isn't there 488 race series? No, it's 458.
It's still 4. Is it?
It's 488 now.
Is it
Is it
488
now?
Okay.
Yeah, that's because they have one,
Right.
but so does the Nissan Micra. So
I will not have Nissan Micra slander.
Okay,
I will not.
I'm not
that
saying
was the best race.
It was a fantastic race.
That was awesome. So I'm just
I'm
going to go
happy
ahead
with A.
Yeah,
For now,
feels
again,
good.
it doesn't give us a lot to go up.
I think once we
if
talk
there is
through
anything,
once
but-
we talk through all of these, like is there a certain defined number of cars that can be on a certain level?
No, not at
No.
all. Not at all.
Like honestly, if you look at a bunch of cars and they're all the same, they can all be the same level.
Yeah, could be.
Okay.
but
So
not
let's
likely, but they could.
Let's go outside of Italy
Definitely.
for the next one.
I was thinking that we should look at the Ford GT.
Yes.
Okay.
I struggle with this one because I think it looks good, but not great.
Right. I think it's
I think it looks pretty sleek.
It does definitely look sleek, but
I
I don't
think it
know
looks
that I
pretty good.
love the looks of the thing, especially when it gets into race spec.
yeah, when it gets all hunkery and wider and has the
I don't
bigger
like
wing.
the sound either.
The sound on the racetrack is appalling.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable and bad.
Yeah,
To be honest.
it really is. And I don't
And
think
it's also double the cost of a GTB.
double the cost of a GTB.
Which is
$500,000 roughly.
and so you said you had a
For
matrix
less
of,
horsepower than a GTB.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Tristan.
so you had that's where I was going, is you have the metrics for these. How does it actually numerically stack up?
So are we going versus a GTB?
Yeah, because I think we're going to see if it's above or below the GTB.
Okay, so GTB horsepower 660, Ford GT 647. Cost GTB 252,800, GT 500,000. Torque GTB 560, Ford GT 550. If you guys are going to make fun of me for miles per gallon, I'm going to skip it.
No, I want to hear it.
I actually don't want to hear it now.
I need to know.
So
Tristan was the one who said mean stuff, not me.
GTB is
Shush.
18 miles per gallon combined. Ford GT.
Combined.
That's not that bad.
Funny it's combined though.
Well, yeah, that's for one number. I wasn't
Yeah.
just going to go city
Well, I
highway
know,
for all of them.
I
I
know,
didn't
I'm
have
saying, but
that
that's-
much time to research.
It's very low for combined.
But I mean, look at the kind of cars we're talking about.
Yeah.
I know,
exactly.
I know.
So 18 for the Ferrari, 14 for the Ford GT. The Ford GT does beat the Ferrari to 60, 0-60, 2.8 seconds to 3 seconds, and it has a 5 miles an hour more top speed.
My problem with
So you get 0.2 seconds 0 to 60 and 5 miles an hour
On the top end, which you're probably never, ever, ever going to hit.
$500,000.
yeah, twice.
You could buy two 488s.
Yeah, you could buy
and
one and
race
just
your
crash it.
friends or crash it.
Yeah,
you,
and
you
just
could
go buy
buy
another
one,
one.
throw it away, and then buy like a used one, and still have paid less than the Ford GT
and
and
have
go
Ferrari refab the car from the ground up.
yeah, and go 5 miles an hour slower.
For me, honestly,
D.
it's a D.
Yeah.
It's a D.
Because of the price.
And because it's just like, there was the big excitement when it launched. And even we were really excited when we saw it on the track for the first time. But
Yeah.
honestly, since that first year, it hasn't been that great on the track.
So I'm trying to think of how we're going to name this list. Obviously, it's us making it so it can't be, or definitely is, depending on how you're looking at it, absolutely definitive.
Oh, it definitely is.
So it's
No, this is
100%
real.
definitive.
Yeah.
It's the most definitive thing we've ever done.
But it's just
forever.
like fan excitement rank list.
I feel like it's just a super and hypercar tier list.
Right. But I'm talking about what kind of tier? Because you could rank them just by speeders, by looks or whatever. But it's like we're going for a feeling about the car, like our excitement about it.
I feel like it's, I mean, kind of, but also, we will consider racetrack. I mean, like I said, we did.
But that's part of fan excitement. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the whole package, which is not just one number.
Yeah,
so
I suppose.
Folks, if you can't tell, we're building this plane as we fly it.
Right.
We're deciding what to do.
I'm not really hung up on what kind of.
I don't know. I just want a thing to call it when I post the episode.
All right.
Well, we'll worry about that when we're done recording.
Figure that out later. Okay, so we just did the Ford. What about kind of an oddball that sneaks in just at the bottom of the price list? The Acura NSX. If you fully kit that car out, it will just scrape past $200,000.
I mean, yeah, starting price that I found was $157,500.
Yep. So if you carbon fiber everything,
Carbon fiber everything.
and get the special paint, which is literally $7,000, you will just bump past $200,000.
Is that fancy red?
Fancy blue?
Blue. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So what are we going to compare this to? Do we want to compare this now to the GT because we just did the GT, or do you want to compare this to, say, like...
I would be interested to hear it.
Huracan?
I'd be interested to hear it next to the Huracan.
Yeah, same.
All right. So they're tied in horsepower at 573.
That kind of surprises me.
The Acura... Actually, the Huracan of the cars that we're going to talk about on this list has the lowest torque, 398 pound-feet. So the Acura has 476. The Huracan has 16 combined MPG. The NSX has 21.
Woo! Hybrid tech.
Hybrid tech. The Lambo beats it 0 to 60 by 1/10.
Oh,
So, like, they're basically identical.
yeah, they're identical.
And
The butt dyno says they're the same.
exactly. And then the Huracan is 202 to the Acura is 191, which is actually the slowest on this list. But
Right,
again,
of
you're
course.
not really going to get there ever.
Never.
So, and then the cost is about 50 grand difference, 203.6 to 157.5 on the
Right,
NSX
yeah,
starting.
starting.
So, as far as like punching above its weight,
I'd be inclined to slot it next to the Huracan.
on a B,
At a B?
But I think so, because when you look at cost to horsepower to speed, I think it's value and the interesting drivetrain. It's hybrid, I guess, depending on how interested you are in that. But,
Right.
the interesting drivetrain, the punch above its weight factor, I think bring it up. And I think its looks compared to the Huracan bring it down. So I'd be inclined to. I'm not set on that. That's what we're going to discuss it. But my gut instinct is next to the Huracan. But again, for different reasons.
Yeah,
I feel like as far as looks go on this, a front shot or like a 3/4 shot compared to the Huracan is almost identical. But when you just look at it from the side, like a 90-degree looking at like straight at the door, I think the Huracan looks way better.
Yeah,
Definitely,
and the back.
Definitely that, and the back too. I don't actually hate the looks of the NSX.
No, I don't hate it. I think the Lamborghini
like
is
it.
more exciting.
Definitely.
That's
definitely
for
that.
me.
And
it comes in all
Because
sorts
it's
of,
Lamborghini,
and
of
it comes
course
in all
it is.
sorts of goofy colors.
That is so great.
Yeah.
Although, that whatever microfilament red and blue on the Acuras,
Yes.
just fabulous. I don't know. I want to put it at A simply because, I didn't do all the stat research, but I really like that car. I have a personal desire for it and attachment to it. And the fact that even despite its starting price and, can just kind of sneak into that 200 range, it's basically the same performance as the Huracan.
Right.
With the hybrid tech and 21 MPG.
Okay, so
It's kind of crazy.
So it's kind of like A minus B plus, right? So like it compared to the Huracan. So let's compare it to the 488 now,
Okay, yeah.
because we have the Huracan at B, we have the 488 at A. So 488 is 100 grand more. It is slower by 1/10 to 0 to 60.
Same.
Yeah, same. 3 miles per gallon less.
It's actually not that bad.
I'm surprised a little.
Yeah.
It 660 to 573 horsepower, $100,000 more starting. I mean, more torque, more horsepower.
And the looks are just no competition at all.
Yeah.
Just not. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it is a B. Maybe it has to go in B. Just because even though it's nice on the track and we like all that stuff about it, and I love the car.
Does it beg the question, do we downgrade the Huracan?
I don't know that I'm ready for that yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
We'll consider it. We'll consider it.
We'll see. So right now I'm going to slot the NSX next to the Huracan at 11.
Yeah.
I don't think that's unfair in a lot of contexts.
I agree.
I think the same tier of people are looking at both, even if their priorities are different. You know what I mean?
I would think so,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Let's
do a front engine car.
All right.
Let's do a front engine. Let's look at the DB11.
Ooh. I like the DB11, but the problem is I used to love the DB11
Until other stuff
or the
came out.
the DB9,
DB9,
yeah.
which I mean adored.
The DB9 might have been like one of the most beautiful cars ever made.
Definitely
to look at.
But haven't they facelifted the DB11 once as well? Or am I still thinking? No, I'm thinking DBS.
DBS.
DBS
yes.
they
yeah.
facelifted.
Yeah.
Also love the DBS. DB11, I feel kind of about it.
That's my feeling. Is I never think of the DB11.
No.
I thought of the DB9 and I think of the DBS, but it never occurs to me to think about
I
the DB11.
just literally confused the DBS and the DB11 right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about it.
All right, we'll roll through it. One of the very few front-rear layouts on this list, but we've got 630 horsepower, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
One might call it stonking.
Just a shade over 200 grand starting, so 201. We've got 516 foot-pounds, but yet it matches the NSX's 21 miles per gallon combined.
Whoa! With what's at the front of that? They still have a V.
I think it's a
I
V10.
think it is a V10.
V10.
I think it's a 10. These
You just did full Mr. Bean face.
It's kind of horrifying.
the slowest on this list of cars that we had for 0 to 60, 3.7.
Sure.
It's full of,
it's the big heavy car. Yeah.
and when we talk about
And the top speed eventually it'll get there 208.
when we talk about pricing is our biggest concern. We talk about sports cars, hypercars, supercars, whatever. This is a GT car.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and it's big, it's comfortable, it's heavy. It's going to be a little slower, which is fine.
I mean, the gas mileage is impressive.
I just need to remind myself what the heck it looks like. 'Cause I
hor-
think I'm thinking of a DBS.
The horsepower is pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of a DBS. I mean, that's just kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a C.
I was just going to say the same thing. I'd be willing to go C with this.
I think C.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So still above the Ford GT.
It's because the Ford GT is so expensive.
Yeah, and it seems
for what you get. That's the problem for
and
me.
it seems like the kind of car that John Cena would buy, and all the stories about the Ford GT are about John Cena's Ford GT, and you're like, all right,
Oh yeah.
okay. Sometimes the people who buy the car ruin the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
How would anybody ever know it's his?
I don't know.
You can't see him.
Can't see him.
God damn it. I hate you so much.
Yes.
I hate you so much.
All right.
Should we?
You want to get like super expensive for this next
I
one?
really do.
Let's
Shoot for the moon.
shoot for the moon.
We have a couple really expensives. However, I think we should start with the Bugatti Chiron or Chiron.
It puts me to sleep.
Oh yeah, I had that as a strong D, coming in right off the bat at a D. Here's why: it's the most expensive car on this list. Well, the Koenigsegg. There's
No.
a Koenigsegg on there.
It still is the most
Still the
expensive
most
car on the
expensive.
list.
You know what I think it is with the run of dominance that Bugatti had.
Exactly, it's boring.
With the Veyron, no matter what came after it, it was never going to be impressive. And I'm not impressed by the Chiron at all.
No.
I think it looks dull. I think it's kind of played out already, and it's only been in the market, 2 years?
2,
If-
3.
Yeah, 2, 3 years, something like that. It's just boring already.
It just
I mean, they were able to release unlimited numbers of Veyron variants.
Yes.
And I was always interested. I think excited might be too much to say, but like they made the one that had like was based on like a porcelain pattern. They had the one that was all black.
The Super Speed, the orange.
Yeah,
and
they
black.
had the orange and black one, which is my favorite, obviously.
I love that one too.
And they had the one that, had the crazy Bugatti blue scheme, all the way inside and out. They all these special editions, and they were always interesting.
Yeah.
And I feel like I haven't heard that about the Chiron
Well, I think they've only done one special
because I don't know if they're
edition.
doing it or not. That's a big thing. But even if they aren't, that says something to me. I don't know.
They've done one special edition. I think it was called the Black Edition, and that's all I remember.
It's probably black.
It was that.
Okay, good.
It was definitely that.
I still got it.
No, that's it. That's all I know.
That's it.
I don't know. Google it.
I'm actually going to agree with the D. I was thinking even like down on an E level for this one but then I'm looking at some of the other super expensive ones that we can compare it to, and I have one that would even rank lower. So
Wow.
I want to say D, but I do want to read off the specs on this thing just for
yeah,
people who aren't
those
familiar because they
are-
are staggering.
yeah,
do it.
that's just a matter of scope. It's just
Where
like,
do you want to
cool.
start? Do you want to start with cost? Do you want we'll start
Gas
with
mileage.
We'll
Yeah,
start-
MPG.
no surprise, it is the worst on this list.
Yeah.
At 11, which actually was higher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I was expecting a 9.
Sadly, I was seeing single digits.
Yeah.
in my head.
It made it to double digits. So from there, we'll go to cost, folks. So we're going to give you the price, and then we'll tell you what you get for it.
a
So
staggering.
$2,998,000 a piece.
It's almost $3 million.
Just
Well, it's $2,000 off. Why not just round
Yeah.
up? At that point, people aren't going to care.
Just a solid $3 million.
Just say
Yeah.
it's $3 million.
Give him an extra badge.
Yeah,
$3 million.
throw in a watch.
Hey,
There you go.
I hope you do get a watch.
That's your key. How dope would that be?
So what does $3 million rounded up get you? Well, it gets you 1,479 horsepower.
Which is a lot.
That's so much.
But it's a lot.
It gets you 1,180 foot-pounds of torque.
Oh, it hurts.
What did those dualies have that you were talking about?
800.
800.
Yeah.
900, I think, was about the top.
0 to 60 in 2.5, and a top speed, wait for it, 261 miles an hour.
That's almost a car that has to cost that much money
Definitely.
because it couldn't do it otherwise.
Right.
I feel like maybe you could strip out some of like the leather on the inside and like save some cost on internal materials.
Yeah.
But the majority of that car that's just how expensive it is to go 261 miles an hour.
One. I just...
But is it 261? We all know about speedometer tolerances.
Does it happen outside
Yeah.
of Germany or whatever?
Right. Yeah.
It might only be 259.9.
Yep. And then there's some guy on YouTube who took it to like 310. So
There probably is. It's so... Even you reading off that list was like, yeah, numbers, but it feels...
There is no feels.
To me, it just feels kind of like, okay, it feels like we've done this already, even though maybe it's the first production car to do 260 plus. I don't know.
I think it is.
it is.
It just seems like we've done this before. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. There is no feeling with this.
It's the Veyron, but it's been beaten to death by an engineer.
Yeah.
And I think the beaten to death part is what you're feeling.
Yeah, the Veyron seemed, even the name, the Veyron seemed just more raw.
Ooh, it sounds great. It sounds
It
great.
sounds awesome. And you just feel like you get, like, none of us are ever going to know what it actually feels like to drive it, but you would think, like in my head, I think like the Veyron, you get just more of this guttural driving experience.
Yeah.
Whereas the Chiron is like an estate car.
It does feel like that.
Yeah.
It does feel
Even
like
though
that.
I don't know that that's true, but it feels like it would be.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're never going to actually know firsthand.
Hell no.
Unless this thing really takes
say
off. And someone lets us
Patreon's
drive a
gotta-
couple of Bugattis around.
Patreon's got to do a lot
We're
more
never
for
going to
us.
see a Chiron. Have any of you ever seen a Veyron in person?
I've seen a Veyron in person.
Have you?
Yes.
I don't
In
think I
California.
have. Okay. I've never seen one, so I doubt I'll ever see a Chiron either.
So I've got a Chiron slotted in next to the GT at D.
Yeah, that seems right to me.
Yes.
So we have no S's yet. We have no E's. We have no F's.
All right.
So let's see if we can find one.
Want to go down or up first?
Let's save what you. Well, I think everyone's gonna have different opinions on their top one,
I think so.
but
Honestly, so far we've been shockingly in tune.
All right. So here's the next one then.
All right.
Do you have an
let's do this for
unpopular
real.
opinion puffin for us?
Let's find out. Let's talk about the 911 GT2 RS.
track record holder at Road America for a production.
Yeah, and
car.
everywhere else. But let's talk about how that car is clearly S rank. Clearly S.
Really?
Yes.
I don't
Why?
necessarily disagree, but I'm shocked you said it, to be
I
honest.
know you are.
I am. I almost fell off my chair.
I genuinely am blown away by that car.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the on-track performance is sickening.
Yes.
Yep.
And the way that car looks, its subtlety, like the changes they made to it. But, I mean, there's like, a more open panel here. There's a wider exhaust. There's a tweak here, a tweak
Subtle
there.
widening or lengthening, all very subtle.
And that car looks so fucking good. I can barely stand it because I hate the design of the 911s. But ever since I saw that in that stupid Xbox, remember
Reveal.
they unveiled that car at the
Yeah,
Xbox
with-
release for Forza 7?
Forza, yeah.
It's so beautiful that it beggars belief to me. And to have it then just explode across the track. Like, have you watched the Road America video?
Yeah, I saw the
It's
lap.
unbelievable the way that car drives.
That looks like in race car footage.
Absolutely.
That I think that lap I can check real quick. I think that I'm trying to compare it to what like actual race cars do.
It advances across the track like a literal forest fire.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it's in a weird way that seems unstoppable.
Absolutely.
Like, little wiggle of the steering wheel, and yes, it's a production car. I think he lifted through the kink.
Right, yeah.
But like,
all down to arrow.
just
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I put that on the list and I'm like, oh yeah, that's S
and
to
you
me.
can take that home.
Yeah.
You can just obliterate a production track record and then turn the key and drive home.
Yep. And probably not really many people are going to know that you're not driving just a regular 911.
Yeah.
Because like all the little subtle changes they made, which look unbelievably good, are
Subtle.
and barely noticeable to a layman. No one, regular people aren't going to know.
Sorry, guys, still looking. I
Yeah,
think
I know.
it's pretty comparable to what NASCAR does there as far as the lap time.
Really? That's kind of surprising to me. That'd be cool.
I'm just trying to find like the NASCAR Xfinity track record.
What did
at
you
Road
think I was going to have that as? E?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I thought you were going to be like, I'm tired of all these fast Porsches. Blah, 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 blah.
I am tired of all these fast Porsches, but there are fast Porsches, and then there's the GT2. Because, okay, like GT3 RS, like, all right, same thing, scaffolding in the back, blah, blah, blah. And it just seems like there's a progression from 911 to 911 Turbo to, GT3 and then GT3 RS. That seems very pedestrian to me. But to have this come out of seemingly nowhere and be numbered lower, but utter mythical beast is kind of cool. And then to have it actually look good, that's what sealed it for me. We need to vamp more. Tristan, say more things.
Say more things.
Dang it.
I have an actual question because I was watching out the windshield on the lap.
Yeah.
Not in the car.
Right.
PDK in that car? Not a manual, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Because race car.
But it didn't sound like it didn't. Well, I wasn't listening that carefully. I was just kind of like, whoa.
Yeah. There's so many things I need to watch the video again. There's so many things I missed because I was like blown away.
Yeah, definitely. But it didn't have that, the what is it? The race car version of the 911. What's the nomenclature for that? The actual race car version of the 911 they use in IMSA.
Oh, man.
It's the 919.
Right. Oh, yeah,
RS or
919.
something
Yeah,
like
whatever it is.
919R.
That has like that explosive
Yeah,
gear
the
shift
whap,
sound.
whap,
It
whap.
literally
It
sounds like
raps.
it's exploding in between the gears. It didn't seem to have that. It just seemed like a really, really fast car. I don't know. I'm kind of obsessed with it, low key.
Sounds
Definitely
like
an S for me.
an S. See, I would put it at an A with the GTB. Mm-hmm. Because do you only have one S car, or do you have more than one?
I only have one.
See, I was kind of thinking the same way, and
It doesn't have to be only one, but
it doesn't have to be. So let me present my argument
Sure.
to why I have the Porsche at an A, and it is the McLaren 720S. Mm-hmm. So you wanted to yes, the GT2 RS. No one is arguing how beautiful that car is. No one. The 720S is a phenomenal looking car. Like McLarens make, I think Tristan, you mentioned it on an episode before, way back, about how McLarens, this is how we're going to make the car, to engineer it to go fast and to look good and all this type of, and all their thought process behind it. Everything has a purpose on the car. Not only does it look good, but everything is there in this precise spot for a reason. There's an inlet here just for this exact reason, down to the 10th of a degree of this and that. Let's see here. We'll go through the specs. So
let's do that.
GT2 RS, horsepower, 690. Awesome.
oh my God.
720S, 710. Mm-hmm. Cost for the GT2 RS is $293,200.
Which is a lot.
Which is a lot. The McLaren is 284, 745.
Mm-hmm.
Torque for the GT2 RS is 553 pound-feet. McLaren is 568. MPG for the GT2 is 17. The McLaren has the best MPG on this list, 22. Equal in 0 to 60 and equal in top speed.
Mm-hmm. What? Are they exactly equal? Mm-hmm. Wow. That's pretty cool.
So the McLaren does it for less. Looks awesome. We kind of talked about the Acura punching above its weight.
Yes.
I feel like even at $284,000,
oof, it's hard to think of anything punching above its weight at that price.
I think the McLaren does that. I think the McLaren is my S car.
My issue with it is as much as I have always bagged on 911s for their super boring looks, I actually think that the 720 looks like a tadpole. I'm just not into it.
So it's funny you mentioned tadpole, because I think for a lot of people, the defining factor of tadpoles is the eyes.
Yeah.
Right? I think it has frighteningly soulless eyes. That's what bugs me about the 720S. It has these black pits where its headlights should be. Mm-hmm. I think it bugs me.
It kind of bothers me a little bit.
I don't know. I like the car. I like the lines of the car. I like it looks like someone took an ice cream scoop to the side.
No, I totally
love
agree.
that.
Everything around and not including the actual headlights about that car is impressive. I think they're both fine in S.
Yeah, I'm totally comfortable with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Simply because, there's no video of a McLaren 728 Road America.
They could probably also go around quite fast.
Oh, I have no doubt we need someone to do that, because I want to see that
Anybody
video
have
comparison.
Anybody have one?
Yeah.
Well, we need to get Porsche also had David Donahue as a Le Mans veteran driving. We can't just have a dude with a 720S try to turn that lap. We need to get a pro in there.
Right.
And have them try to turn that lap with the 720S.
I would love to see that.
Let's make it happen. Let's call Road America.
Right.
Hey, you guys.
who you know who's got a race driver friend in a 720?
No
Well,
one.
I bet you Compass Racing could help us out.
God,
They run
they're probably
McLarens.
good.
They're actually making the 720S is debuting in GTD this weekend at Mid-Ohio.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. I'm very comfortable with both of those cars in S.
Co-S's.
Yeah, definitely. I knew
And so it was.
I knew I was going to trick you with the 911. There's no reason for me to love that car as much as I do, but I do genuinely love it.
And I love that car.
And have since I just laid eyes on it.
I have another, it's not in the same bracket, but I have this weird affinity for just the one that came out a couple years ago, just the 911R.
Was that the quote unquote tribute edition one where they...
Yeah, it had the stripe, and it was a bunch of the kit from the higher level cars, but they put in like a manual version. Like it was kind of the enthusiasts one supposedly, and
I liked that one too.
I had an irrational attachment to that one because I'm generally of the same opinion. I respect Porsche for how successful they are, but I'm generally bored by 911. That one seemed interesting, and so does this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
let's really mix it up here.
Just by the way, because I'm the keeper of this list so far, I did put the 720S first because I think it's better.
Okay.
They're on the same line, but 720S is first.
It's also alphabetical, so you know. How about we go with something that's hella rare and was really cool when it came out, but has really slid in my estimation. The Pagani Hey. The hair.
The Huayra.
Yeah, the Huayra. I think it's Huayra, right?
Yeah.
The Pagani Huayra. It probably means a wind. I don't care.
Don't care.
So
I have this. This is like the lowest one on my list.
it's actually really low for me too. So
like
this
this
car,
is-
when it came out,
I don't think I've thought about Pagani until we were putting this list together.
right. So it came out and its party piece was active arrow
Yes.
on the back.
Yep.
So when you turned, it had little flappy doodles, which was cool at
Technical
the time.
term.
Yeah. The right one is the flappy and the left one is
Is
the
the
doodle.
doodle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Duh.
I just think that car is kind of dumb now. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was like a moment of intoxication or like a fling type of thing. You
Collective
see-
insanity.
Well, seeing Richard Hammond, kind of flog around the Top Gear track and all the slow-mo shots and everything's
of
in
the
there.
arrow going
Yeah.
Like the arrow doodling.
like a jet.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I couldn't conclusively find out if the Pagani Zonda is still actually in production or if you can just, kind of get them. Even now, however many years it's been since the Huayra came out, maybe 5 or 6, the Zonda now looks cooler, like way cooler than that car.
The Zonda has more extreme angles on it.
Yeah.
It's more Lamborghini-esque in its design
The
language.
inside of those is just wild.
Yep.
It is
Totally.
bizarre.
I don't care for it, but it's certainly something.
I actually had this as an E. I didn't have the heart to put anything in F. I'll be honest.
Really?
Couldn't fail
You're like
anybody.
the harshest one of the three
I
of us.
know, but the thing is, it is still a technical
Tonight,
achievement.
Nick is confused. Andrew grows a heart.
Well, the other thing about that car is, and the reason why I couldn't put it in F is because it has one feature that I want so badly in a car that I will own one day. It causes me a little bit of pain. And it's that they stole directly from the company Spiker that single rail all metal manual transmission.
With you can see it with the exposed gates. And
yeah.
yeah.
God. I just
He just
You can see
almost
all the
died.
linkages.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
It can't fail. It can't. That's so cool.
It can't fail.
It can't fail. But an E for
Well, see, I was going to put it at F. This was the one car I had at F, and here's why. If we just jump in right into the other hyper, super expensive one. By the way, let's just go through the specs, and we'll kind of do it side by side.
Let's do it.
So the other $2 million plus car that Andrew put on this list was the Koenigsegg Regera.
I think it's Regera.
Regra.
It's not that.
It's Regera.
The Koenigsegg Regra. The Koenigsegg Regera and the Pagani Huayra. So the Pagani is 2.4 mil.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
I'm sorry, cars. It's just funny to me.
Yeah. For $400,000 less, you can get the Koenigsegg.
And
Well, don't get there. Don't get there.
yeah.
For $400,000 less, you will get 400 more horsepower.
Whoa.
You will get 206 more pound-feet of torque, and you will get 26 miles an hour higher top speed.
Oh my God.
So the Koenigsegg will just roll right through it. Horsepower 1,100, price $2 million, torques 944 pound-feet. 0 to 60 2.8, top speed 250.
Oh God.
We go to the Pagani. Horsepower, 700. Price, $2.4 million. Torque, 738.
It's actually an even split. It's not bad.
0 to 63.
Wasn't it?
Top speed, 224.
Oh, Tristan's, he's falling asleep.
Yeah. Like, that's why I put Pagani at F, because the Koenigsegg, we'll just round up here, $500,000 less, you get so much more.
Okay, but wait.
It's so much better.
Wait. Have you seen the shifter?
But wait.
I will give the shifter $250,000 worth of value, not 400 grand. It is not a $400,000 shifter.
Tristan, help us out here.
In what way?
Where do
He's
you
lost
have
it.
it?
We lost him.
We did.
No. I'm looking at the Regera shifter. Because we know it's pedal,
Yeah, it's
but I'm
pedal.
wondering what the console looks like. Because that's going to matter.
I mean, I guess it does.
It doesn't have one.
Well, I mean, there would be no reason for it to.
Yeah, but there's not even never mind. There's not even something to make it move. Like a fancy.
Oh.
It's like,
Is
whatever.
it buttons for like drive and park and
It's
stuff?
it almost looks like a palm scanner. it's like just a recessed thing.
It's kind of tight.
For
Yeah.
$400,000 less.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, I have to go with F.
All right. Put it in F.
If the Ford GT is where it's at for what it provides,
Okay. Okay.
and then I'll be entirely hypocritical.
So where do we put the Koenigsegg then?
Since we did now talk about that.
So this is the one I have an irrational attachment to. This was my S car on that list.
Interesting.
Whoa.
You know, I haven't. That one was tough for me to rate simply because I feel like. I mean, we just talked about the cost for the hilarious cost difference there. You get a car in the Koenigsegg that's literally built by hand by a bunch of people who just want to build that car.
Yes, and
Yep.
so the horsepower numbers are almost, because what's the Chiron again?
1479.
Yep.
It's slightly more. It doesn't have as high a top speed, but the same horsepower for only
It's not. It's 379 horsepower difference.
What?
The Koenigsegg is 1100. The Chiron is 1479.
Oh, I thought it was 1500.
Nope.
Maybe I was looking at something else. But I think the dedication that Koenigsegg has to the art of the car.
Yeah.
And I love the way the Regera looks.
I feel like it's a little plain.
I think it's plain, but I think it's that.
He likes plain. He likes Volkswagen.
I think it's that Scandinavian plain where it's
Yeah.
like it's designed to be simple on purpose,
Right.
Versus they just didn't have a better idea.
Okay.
Think last 9 inches of a Corvette compared to compared to like anything from IKEA. Like,
Give her the last 9 inches of the Corvette. Yeah.
ran out of ideas versus we want this to be simple and
Purposeful.
speak for itself.
And also, it is easier to hand form simpler designs. And that, I mean, that's what they do.
And they are by no means like uncomplicated.
And
they have lines and weird ports in the hood and stuff like that. But I think I like the kind of boat tail.
Yeah.
Where the back tapers to the wing. I like that a lot. And I'm a big fan of rear brake vent scoops. And they come in all sorts of not wild colors, but interesting colors, like a weird, almost aquamarine.
Right.
And it has those two almost Le Mans car prototype, like where the intake and the driver's head are on Le Mans cars, and then it kind of tapers back. It has those on the roof.
Yes.
Yes. I think it looks fantastic. I think it is. You're about reaching the balance of what you get for money, in my opinion, because of the hand-built, obsessed nature of the people who are making them, the performance numbers, and I think the looks. Compare that to a Ford GT or even a Chiron or whatever. So this was my S car in the list.
I'm not mad at that.
Because it's a little ridiculous, but not so ridiculous that it's ridiculous enough that it adds flavor instead of ridiculous enough to knock it down into the lower tiers.
Right. I'm not mad at S for that. What do you think? I would have had it at an A, a strong A.
I was probably thinking A or B. I don't know if I could put... I mean, look, if I get outvoted, that's fine. But personally, I would... I mean, versus a GT2 RS, how magnificent that thing is.
I know, but...
a 720.
But even still, the GT2 RS is factory produced. And I mean, literally.
Well,
when you come to that Koenigsegg, it's a guy forming the carbon fiber for the parts and sewing the seat. I mean, it's... What is the word that's one more than dedication?
It's the attention to
obsessed.
Yeah,
it's the obsession with which Rolls-Royce makes luxury cars.
Yeah,
Koenigsegg makes performance cars, and that deeply interests me.
Yeah. So if we have 3 different grades, what do we do?
Well, your grade is an S.
Yeah,
your grade is.
I had mine at an A.
I had mine at an A.
All right. Then I guess
we'll do a strong A, an A plus.
An A plus.
Stronger than the 488 GTB. I'll put it first.
A plus.
So there's still 4 cars as I'm looking at that we haven't got to yet.
I think that's right. We did all the fun ones. Now, here's one that is interesting to me simply because I have no idea where it's going to end up. The Ferrari 812 Superfast.
Yeah, this one's going to be
bizarre.
It's going to be tough to rank.
So again, this is
let me try this one. The Superfast.
It's a GT car. It's another GT car.
It's another front rear layout GT car. So I guess we compared to the DB11, right?
Definitely.
We got to start there. So let's see here. The Superfast, we'll start with the cost, is $162,000 more. But for $162,000 more, you get 160 more horsepower, only 14 more pound-feet of torque. You get 8 less miles per gallon.
Whoa.
And only 3 miles per hour more on the top end at 211 mile an hour top speed.
Where do we have the DB11? Well,
the DB11 sits at a C right now.
Man, I feel like that's high now. I don't know.
I mean, we're not. The list isn't final yet. We can move it.
Let's see here. Do I like the 812 more than the DB11 for any reason? I don't think so.
Do you think the DB11 looks better than the 812 still?
Actually, I do.
You do?
Yeah, the Superfast.
Yeah, Superfast.
Looks like it's made out of 2 cars. to me, it looks like they took where that body line is at the back.
Yeah.
It looks like they put 2 cars together. It doesn't
bolted it together.
It doesn't seem
fluid,
cohesive.
Legoed it.
Yeah, doesn't seem cohesive to me. It bugs me.
I see that. I could,
if not remarkable, at least the DB11 is consistent and well thought out. It seems like 2 different groups designed the front and the back of the Ferrari.
Well,
which is weird for Italians.
Yeah.
Well, to me, I think they felt like they needed a successor to the California, right?
Yes.
That's the one that came before.
Yes.
I kind of liked the California a little bit. And this seems like they got all hyped up by the FF and decided to try to do that in a front engine car or in a I guess GT body as opposed to a hatch body.
Right.
And it just failed.
It didn't work. I think that's probably why the rear end looks weird.
I think it is.
It's totally, like, I'm just looking some of these up now too. Like, again, front or 3/4 shot on the front looks amazing.
Great.
And then you get into something like this.
And you see
Andrew.
the side, right? You see the side, and it looks like
it's like right behind.
You're
the
not
B,
wrong.
It's like right behind the B post.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
That was my overwhelming
Like even
feeling.
this line, the indent on the door where this vent is right behind the front wheel looks really good, and then it gets up to the door handle and just kind of doesn't go anywhere.
You know what else is wrong with that car? The wheels are bad.
Oh no,
The wheels are bad.
Oh no, we set them off.
not the shoe game again.
That's it. The wheels are bad. That's all I'll say.
So are we going to rank
They're
this?
very simple.
Are we going to rank this thing below the DB11 then?
Yeah. So definitely, at least, is it E worthy? Yeah, I'll say E.
I was going to throw it in D with the GT and the Chiron.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think D.
D it is?
Yeah, because I do like what it does.
Sure.
I have mostly cosmetic issues with it.
And at least they tried, I guess, even if you fail.
He who dares wins, or at least doesn't get an E.
Exactly.
All right, 3 to go. We haven't gotten to Tristan's favorite car yet.
Should we just do it now?
Or do you
Or
want
should
to
we save it for last?
This is your list, man. Your call.
Let's circle all the way back to the big brother of the first car we discussed.
Okay.
Let's talk some Aventador. Lamborghini Aventador. What? What?
I like the Aventador.
You like the Aventador?
Do you like?
I have mixed feelings about it now. Not only because of how we constructed this list, but also because while I was all in on the Huracan when it came out, on the Aventador when it came out, the Huracan kind of supplanted it for me a little bit. And I know it's the smaller
It's the everyman's Lamborghini.
bargain Lambo. I just feel like the Aventador is kind of like stalled out for me a little bit. What do you think?
I mean, I know we're not digging into trims here.
We can.
The SV.
Yeah.
We did see that SV.
is a phenomenal piece of car.
Yeah.
That was really something to see at Road America.
And loud as shit.
Oh
it was
my God.
amazing.
And he was just sitting in traffic. That was absurd.
Yeah, he wasn't even like in gear.
No.
At idle, you needed earplugs.
It was crazy.
It was awesome. I mean, the SV kind of it brings it up for me.
Okay. Well,
that
Tristan
specific
loves
trim.
it. Let's hear that.
I mean, Tristan, yeah. What is your case for the Aventador?
I think it. I don't know. I've heard people argue the other way, but I think with the wing and the exploding tailpipes and the like louvered glass rear
Ooh,
on
yeah,
the
that's
Aventador,
right.
Yeah.
and just how low and wide and huge and ridiculous it is,
It is all of that.
I think it pulls forward in my opinion, and it might be heresy, but the not very well aging Countach. And puts its soul in a new body. And I think it's the perfect Lamborghini ridiculousness. And that's why I like it. The Huracan is good, but it almost like the Gallardo, it's not like just hair sticking out, mad scientist Lamborghini looking.
Yeah.
And I like the Aventador because it's more Lamborghini, I guess.
I'm going to. I see what you're saying there. The Countach thing kind of
I like that.
spurred like the not so well aging Countach piece. Does that hurt the Aventador though? Because then you could argue that the Aventador was kind of like a transitional piece between the wild looking Countach and the more sensible looking Huracan.
No, because I think
does
I
that
think
hurt the status? Does it hurt the case for the Aventador?
No, because I think the Huracan is not the end point from the Countach to the Huracan.
Yeah, they're not of the same.
It's a different. I feel like
I'm talking design language though.
Gallardo. It's the next Gallardo. Especially look at the front of it.
Yeah, the Huracan is the Gallardo.
The next one.
Yeah, the evolution of.
I mean, it's like you can put the Huracan and the Gallardo next to each other, and they actually look relatively similar. The Huracan's better, but I think when you look at things like the Aventador, it's just a whole different class.
It is. I've got the numbers to prove it.
Let's hear them.
So just stacked one on top of another. Aventador and Huracan. We'll start with the price. We said the Huracan was $203. Aventador $417, $650.
Yeesh.
For that, you'll get 729 horsepower to the Huracan's 573. You'll get 507 pound-feet of torque to the Huracan's 398. You'll get 3 miles less per gallon, but that's expected.
Yeah.
It only beats the Huracan to 60 by 1/10 of a second.
What's it? How's it rank next to the Ford GT?
As for
The Aventador.
let's see here.
I'm just wondering, like 0 to 60.
0 to 60 beats it by 1/10.
Same.
It has less torques than the Ford, but it has roughly 80 more horsepower. Top speed is within a mile an hour, 217 to 216.
Interesting. Well, because those are, price comparable.
But the Aventador is $85,000 less.
Oh,
Which it's for something, but it's the low end of 4 compared
Right.
to the dead 500,
Straight up 5.
like straight half mil.
Ooh, Aventador.
I don't think
So
it's,
we've got Huracan at B, we've got GT at D.
I mean, I guess A. Are we?
and I would even be comfortable with it being on the same tier as the Huracan. I like it more, but I think objectively, in different ways, it's as good as the Huracan.
So actually, I like it more than the Huracan.
So as I would be happy with A because I like it more myself. But I would not argue with if you guys were outvoting me at B. I wouldn't be like, "Mrr." It's the same. The same.
You wouldn't be like, what?
Mrr. Same with the Koenigsegg. Like it was my S car because I'm so obsessed with like how it's built.
Yeah.
But I understand that there are things about it that knock it down to an A. But
Well, we didn't give you the Koenigsegg, so we'll give you the Aventador at A.
I think it's good.
everything's coming up me.
So at A, we've got the Koenigsegg, we've got the 488 GTB, and now the Aventador.
So we've ranked our front engine cars low on this list.
You want to just get the last one out of the
I was
way?
going to say maybe we can find a use for that layout with the Aston Martin Vanquish.
No.
Austin Healy. Oh, wait, no.
I really don't think we can.
But the thing, okay, so this car is, I mean, they're kind of it's pretty similar to the DB11 in a lot of ways.
Yep.
With the singular exception that I actually think the Vanquish looks really, really good.
Oh, there's not. I don't think Aston has come out with a bad looking car for as long as I've known they existed.
I could almost make an argument that I could make an argument the DB11 is bad, but it's not really.
It's bad compared to other Aston Martins. In cardom, it is not.
Right.
I think it looks better than the DB11,
Definitely.
but also just looking at numbers here, it is $93,000 more. You get less horsepower, less torque, less gas mileage, and lower top speed.
But better looks.
Is looks trump all of those other things?
Man, I mean, to me, almost kind of, because all right. So looks are one thing, but also you get the name Vanquish. I mean, come on.
We talked about car names.
Yeah, the Vanquish is a good name.
And I can't think of another thing, but you get the name and you get the looks.
So,
Style over substance.
Yes, I think it's that. Definitely.
So my worry here then is we might have to bump some things down the list because we have the Aston Martin, we have the DB11 at a C. If we feel like the Vanquish is better, which I'm okay saying, we would put it on the B list with the Huracan and the NSX.
Oh no, I can't. I
So
can't go there.
So I feel like we would need to slot the Vanquish in at C and move the DB11 down to a D.
I feel like they might actually be the same.
I think they're the same. That's
Because-
what I'm feeling from this.
Yeah.
Performance versus aesthetic.
Versus appeal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm actually comfortable with them being both
cost.
C's. That feels right to me.
Aston Martin just has its own little level in our list.
Basically.
This is where the Astons go. Right here.
I'll agree to that. Last car on the list.
Will it have company?
Will it have?
Will the Astons have company?
We'll see. We got one car left to do it.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So, Tristan, your favorite car of all time, your most dreamable car
The Honda Element.
of the ever, the Honda Element.
$250,000 Honda Element.
Just imagine. No, a car that also kind of scrapes in the Audi R8 V10.
This is another punch above its weight, I think. This is actually the cheapest car on the list.
Yes. But not once you start adding the carbony bits. Let me tell you.
Oh no, my
I
friend.
went with base when I was just putting
Yeah.
together my little matrix here. So
Right, and obviously that's not really going to impact, any stats that you may have. But to get more cars in, we had to scrape in some.
and when we say scrape, this doesn't mean like we're scraping bottom of barrel. It's a very good car.
Yeah, obviously. So, price versus performance. Give us some numbers.
I guess the closest thing we can compare it to would be the next.
Well, the NSX.
Yeah, it would be the
probably.
NSX.
Yeah.
I think that would be close.
So, and we got the NSX at a B at 157 grand, 157 and a half. So, Audi comes in at 138. 138.7.
So cheap.
For that, you'll get more horsepower. You get 610 versus 573. You're going to get less torques, 413 versus 476. You're going to get less gas
No electric
mileage.
motors.
Exactly. That's the Acura drivetrain.
Yep.
You're going to get also, because of the Acura's hybrid, you're going to get less gas mileage, 18 to 21. You will beat it to 60 by a tenth, so a blink of an eye, and you will.
Despite all those disparities.
Right.
You do have a 14 mile an hour top speed advantage with the Audi.
Wow.
205.
It's a little more than I
So
thought.
191. Surprisingly, well, I guess it's not so surprising when you think of anything with like electric power in it. The NSX is very low end, but it doesn't have a lot in the top.
Right.
It gets out of breath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the rest of these just keep chugging along.
Especially things in V10, V12 range.
Yes.
They like to spin.
Right. So 130 was the.
138,000.
That's the expensive one.
Cheapest way into a V10.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh man.
So I think, and we've got NSX and Huracan at a B.
Oh boy. I mean, I like the R8. I feel like it's the right choice to kind of end it coming up here because it almost feels like some of the, what's that phrase that no one uses? Some of the blushes off the rose at this point with the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem, aside from the price, which I had forgotten that it was in fact so low, it seems like, it just kind of seems there.
I think that's because
It's been around a while, that's why.
forever.
Yep.
And I think it's also because it has been always presented as like the most livable of the supercars.
I have no doubt that
Like
it is
like
that.
they never almost never portrayed it as like this is the bleeding edge of car technology. This
Yeah.
is like, you want to get groceries in my R8?
Well, it kind of seems like have you outspent your RS6? Perhaps you would enjoy one of these instead.
Yeah.
When you
Like-
put the Regera away for the winter, you take the R8 out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. And all-wheel drive, of course. So
Absolutely.
I mean, low clearance, but you probably could
Yeah.
take it out in the winter.
I do love that car, but to be honest, my my attraction is actually to the 4.2 liter V8 version more than the V10. So you're not going to hurt my feelings too much, depending on where we put it.
Aw,
I do like the styling still. I think
Yes.
It's better now than
Yeah.
maybe it's ever been.
the Evo.
the newest one is fantastic, but they kept the side blade,
yes.
which they did.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually didn't look. I assumed it was there.
They would never. That's
no.
so iconic for that car.
No, and I think that side blade style is something that is deeply ingrained in my mind as desirable.
Yes.
Obviously, but no, it has never been the fastest and hardest and everything else, which depends on if you see that as a benefit or not.
I mean, maybe it belongs with its distant cousin, the Huracan, in B.
In B range?
I'm comfortable with that.
I think that feels good.
It's the it's the more chilled out and relaxed cousin in that pair.
And how much cheaper is it than the Huracan?
Notably.
Let's see here, 65,000.
The cost of an RS6? No, those are more.
So you could buy an R8 and 2 base WRXs for that much money.
I was going to say that, and you could get a S6 for that. You
Probably.
could comfortably get an S6 for 60, I think. Or at least the 4.
Yeah.
That's kind of really funny, actually.
We were surprisingly nice and we were surprisingly agreeable.
Everyone was very civil.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Not really. We don't often...
We don't disagree that hard that often.
And we often don't talk about... supercars are not our wheelhouse as far as content goes. I think we all enjoy them, but I think it's easier for us to be more in line with those because honestly, they're a little bit more homogenous bunch.
Yeah.
And we are just seeing them on computer screens. Like we don't see.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
if I had driven one, I might have a very
Google
strong
search
opinion.
to Google search. This is not.
Yeah.
If we had actually driven them, we might have a little more hard-lined opinions on them.
Yeah. Versus things we can actually compare.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what it is. But when you do something like this, you can't tier list of CUVs.
I mean, you could.
Although I did consider that actually.
You could,
but nobody
one
would listen.
Exactly. It's
I did consider that as my original
you
pitch
want
for
our
this idea.
listenership to go down because you want to bore them to death.
That's consumer advice.
Yeah, true.
So
all right. Let's hear our tiers, Nick.
do you want to go bottom? We want to go ascending order here.
Yeah, it's ascending order.
All right. So on level F, on tier F, we've got the Pagani
Huayra.
Yep.
Huayra. No one on E.
I tried.
We left
I
out.
tried.
I tried my best.
Not
We
for
left
lack of
out
trying.
On the D level, we've got the Ford GT, the Chiron, and the 812 Superfast.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
C's is the Aston Martin tier.
Yes.
DB11 and Vanquish.
Okay.
Yep.
On the B level, we've got the Huracan, the NSX, and the R8 V10.
You know, those all sit comfortably next to each
They
other.
really
when
do.
he said that all, I was like, yeah.
That's nice. I like that.
All kind of punchy above, to use that phrase again, like the punch above their weight type of situation, I think, with those. Maybe not so much the Huracan, but the other two.
I think that's kind of like the benchmark is the way I see it.
Yeah. And the other two can manage to keep up with appeal, statistics, etc., despite their price.
Yes.
Right.
And other features.
The A level, we have 3 cars. We have the Koenigsegg Regera, we have the 488 GTB, and we have the Aventador.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's all right.
Yeah.
And the very creme de la creme on the top is the McLaren 720S and the Porsche 911 GT2 RS.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I have to sit with it.
And
but
it shall be so.
I think it
So
shall
it is
be
written.
so.
So it shall be.
So it is written, so it shall be. Now this will live on into infinity. This is the definitive list.
I don't know if anyone's ever done a tier list of hypercars, so we are the first, and this is factual.
If anything, we're the first.
Certainly we're the first.
So if you see any of these other lists come out, they're copying
They
us.
copied us.
Yeah. So
We actually invented tier lists. No one ever done
No,
it.
that okay.
now we can't go that
Now
far.
you're overstepping.
We were there. We had the line, and you just
You had to just
had to take one. Damn
Always.
it! God damn it! Very cool. So relatively painless. It took a while, but it's relatively painless.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up. Let's get these folks out of here. So, guys, who are we thanking today?
Tristan, why don't you start it off?
I would like to thank crossover drivers who decide to buck the stereotype.
What did you see?
What happened?
Tell us what happened.
I was being ruthlessly chased by an Outback, and I loved it. He had a 3.6R Outback, and clearly is a Subaru owner, knows what my badges mean, looks at me and goes, shrugs, and just floors it off the line. And I'm like, oh, right, here we go. And I got to second gear and blew his doors off.
Yeah.
And as I go by, he's like, yeah. I think he just wanted to see me do it. And I was like, okay, I love that. So
That's pretty
thank
funny.
you, man, in the fancier Outback than I ever had. For appreciating my car, it always feels good, and for just making the commute that much brighter.
That's really funny, actually.
Andrew.
Let's see. I just need to thank my wife again. I mean, this whole year really has just been utterly insane in every area of my personal life, good and bad. But I've never been someone who's been incredibly stable, just in my own personal life. Well, you lived with me for 3 years.
Can attest.
Yeah, but it's not an issue for me anymore because I have a bedrock foundation now that is never in doubt at any point, and that's all down to my wife. So thanks to her. I love you.
Very nice. I would like to thank the folks that work at Koenigsegg for that dedication and that obsession.
Insanity. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Obsession.
Car culture to the billionth degree to spend that much time and effort making a car that does what it does.
Got to figure out a way to tour that factory at some point.
That guy's garage, you mean?
Yes, literally.
I mean, yes. And for a piece of engineering, a piece of work like that to come out of where it comes from is nothing short of exceptional and staggering. So,
and in actual numbers too. It's not like they make, there are cars where they make 157, but they also produce in hundreds. Just a bunch of guys.
just a bunch of dudes.
Working hard, making fantastic stuff.
Vacuum sealing carbon fiber by hand.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It works.
Yeah, it does.
It works. So thanks to the folks at Koenigsegg, and thank you to all the listeners. As always, we suck most of the time, but you guys are always awesome. So we appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate your support. Like we said before, we want to hear from you. We don't want you just to listen as much as we love that. We want to hear from you as well. So find us on socials. We're on Facebook at Check Engine Podcast. We have Instagram, and the handle is
At Check Engine Pod.
We also have Twitter, which is wildly entertaining with Andrew managing it. And the handle there is also
At Check Engine Pod.
there it is.
He mentioned his instability.
Go find it there.
Go find
full
it.
display.
It's great.
Go find it there on the Twitter account. If you really like what we're doing, we do have an opportunity for some financial support. We have a support button right there on anchor.fm. And we also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/Check Engine Podcast. As we mentioned, the new theme song that debuted last episode was a direct result of the Patreon and Anchor support. So that's the kind of stuff that we can give to you guys if you feel like you'd like to support us in that way. So thank you in advance.
Yeah, also, just one more time, I want to make sure that we get the name out there. Our theme song, new theme song, Arnie Parrott, atptunes.com. Find him at Arnie Parrott, just like the bird, folks. SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter, theme song God.
Yeah, say theme song master extraordinaire.
I keep waiting for him to change his Twitter handle to theme song God.
Theme song God.
hopefully I want to make that
God.
stick.
Hopefully that handle isn't taken yet. You probably just gave someone else that idea. It doesn't do theme
If
songs.
it is, he'll take it from them.
Yes, he will, by force of his goddery.
Yes.
So, yeah, thanks again, Arnie. Lastly, reviews are important. We saw another couple roll in through Facebook here in the last week or so, so thank you for that. on iTunes, on Spotify, on Anchor, wherever you can. Like we said before, reviews are what make podcasts tick. There's a lot of weight in those algorithms, in those search algorithms.
Algorithms. The algorithms.
Bro.
That's the algorithms. That was I did the French one.
Indeed.
Algorithms.
There's a lot of weight put in high reviews when it comes to searching for podcasts. So the more good reviews we get, the higher up the ladder we go in searches, and the easier it is for you folks to find us or new folks to find us. So we'd appreciate good reviews. With that, we're going to sign off for this week. We will talk to you again very soon, and of course, we cannot wait to do that. Take care.